What is up, Pilipinas? Nagbabalik ang Unity League Philippines para isa namang episode ng MLBB Bakbakan. I'm OSX, I'm dito si Hans. At ano nga ba yung laban na abangan natin ngayon, Hans?
Well, this is gonna be Metro NEU Esports kontra sa kanilang makakalaban na walang iba kundi ang Quezon Province. This is an Antipolo versus Quezon Province matchup and I cannot wait to see kung ano ang ating posibleng makita yan. It's Noypi Esports versus Metro NEU. Something that we have to take note of dahil Metro NEU, they got a good win, a 2-1 victory na kinas nyo yan kamakailan lang. Meanwhile, para naman sa kupunan ng Noypi Esports, they got the sweep right away para sa ating pinakaunang match ng quarterfinals.
Mukhang madami tayo may expect na extended games. Agawa ng Metro, agawa ng mismong target heroes about kupunan na pwede maglaban-laban rin. Dahil kahapon it was the first best of 3 series na talagang na-excite kaming ikas at panoorin. So let's see, because this is the road to the grand final. So magkakaalaman na kung paano nga ba mag-uunahan ni mga kupunan na ito para makapunta at makasecure ng slot sa pinaka-matamis na kampyonato.
This is, again, the South Luzon leg that we are talking about. And in case you guys are wondering kung saan nyo ba posibleng mapanood ito, you can watch us at PTV4 with our simulcast partner, that's IBC13, every 7 to 8 p.m. And not only that, maaabangan nyo rin ang makaramihan at iba pa sa ating mga legs dahil ang naganap pa lang ay ang North Luzon leg and also the South Luzon leg, in which where the happening is at the semi-final bouts. We only have the final 4 as of the moment at magkakaalaman kung sino nga ba sa apat na teams na yon ang makakuha ng panalo and will have a closer look at that 4.1 million peso prize pool.
Feeling ko wag natin patagalin to eh. Kilalanin natin teams na maglalaban-laban today on stage. Tara!
A pleasant day to everyone inside the Embarcadero de Legazpi in Legazpi City, Albay. It's the Unity League Southern Luzon semi-finals. And for our semi-final match, it's Noypi Esports versus Metro NEU Esports. First team to enter the stage, Noypi Esports. And they are composed of Kurt Brainer Trinidad, John Lloyd Sarne, Dexter Troy Parafina, Merrick Angelo Napeñas, and John Jewel Funtillar. Ladies and gentlemen, your Noypi Esports. And their opponent, Metro NEU Esports, composed of John Lloyd Cartagena, Leo Jean Dionela, Danilo Nachor III, John Carlo Roma, and Wilbert Salinda. Ladies and gentlemen, your Metro NEU Esports. And our tournament officials, Ivan Valenzuela and Patrick Balangkit. And our observer, German John Treyes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the semifinals between Noypi Esports and Metro NEU Esports.
Magsisimula na ang paligsahan papunta sa Grand Finals dahil nakilala natin mga dalawang kupunan na maglalaban-laban sa unang araw. Ngayon, Hans.
I mean, if you think about it, it is nice to see that most of the people, specifically from NEU or Metro NEU, is now wearing their uniforms para mas lalo silang may pagkakakilanlan. Kasi from the last time that we've seen them before, they were here but they were ready for the game. It doesn't really matter if you're wearing your uniforms or not as long as you make it to the other set, which is the national final. Ayan ang ating abangan later on. But going up with a team like Noypi Esports who got the sweep doon sa kanilang quarterfinals matchup, we're about to see how it goes.
I think it's all about the confidence boost dahil kailangan mo nga ito para makaabot doon sa Grand Final spot. I believe you. Kung meron silang bago ngayong jersey or meron silang way to just feel good about themselves, suotin nyo na ngayon dahil ito yung araw na ikaw mismo ay uwi sa bahay mo na, ma, nag-champion ako. Or ma, nakaabot ako kahit Grand Finals man lang.
And for both of these teams, I feel like malayo ang kanilang uuwian. So you would really want to get the victory as much as possible. We're talking about a team from Quezon Province like Noypi Esports and a team from Antipolo Rizal such as Metro NEU Esports. Kaya nga sinasabi, alam mo naman, but you know, at this point in time, malayo talaga. And mas gugustuhin mo na uuwi ka na maingiti sa yung labi kesa the opposite way around. Kasi hindi ko alam kung paano ko i-explain yung kabila eh.
Masarap umuwi sa bus na nag-champion ka yesterday,
Tama.
na binabalik ka may mga highlights mo,
Tama.
may gumagawa na ng mga TikTok highlights mo.
Okay lang na masikip sa van basta may trophy kang katabi.
Omsim, tandaan niyo yun ha. Yun yung
Yun na yun.
pinakamasarap na feeling pa uwi.
Oo, mas mahirap yung masikip na nga yung van tapos wala ka pang katabing trophy tapos may isip mo pa na ay, oh my G.
Oh my G, kailangan ng ganong
Yeah.
klaseng. Dapat ganun yung feeling pa uwi so no pressure. Pero kailangan din na talaga gawin yung mga gagawin nyo today. Because this is the race na pinag-uusapan namin heading to the grand finals. Dahil these teams na in this specific leg, we have seen great potential, we've seen great picks, also specific bands in order to discover their own meta flavor. Nagkakaroon din ng mga nakawan, even on the power picks.
Dito yan. Actually, yung power pick na ginamit nitong Noypi Esports ay yung Freya. Sila lang ang katangi-tanging team na nag-Freya noong quarter-final rounds at nanalo sila doon sa kanilang katunggali, which is why now I'm curious to see kung yun pa rin ba ang posible nilang i-pick up in this matchup given that there's just a lot of information regarding this team already at ang dami nang naganap noong ating quarter-final round. So I'm curious kung ito pa rin ba ang magiging same scenario or will there be a difference in terms of the picks na makikita natin later on?
Well, that's a good point to ponder, no? Yung Freya, and also one thing that I was observing yesterday is yung crowd control na mga type of compositions. Sobrang gana pa rin talaga. There was a lot of chances na there are assassin picks na pwede sana mapagana. Again, the meta favors the assassin picks right now. Kahit ulitin namin to again. But in most cases, na gusto mo talaga paganahin yung lineup mo. It's all about the crowd control utility na talaga makakuha ka ng sure win agad-agad.
Yup, and now we're taking a look at another best of 3 matchup na makikita natin between these two teams. It's Quezon Province, that is Noypi Esports onto the blue side. Meanwhile, Metro NEU from Antipolo Rizal is going to be representing the red side as of the moment. I talked about the Freya na pinili ng Quezon Province that time na kinuha nitong sina Peñas, and he really was very good at that. Yung early game yung kanilang naging build on, kung kaya naman ngayon kung mapapansin mo Freya yung or should I say Fanny rather ang tinanggal ng kupunan ng Antipolo Rizal because we've seen what the side of Metro NEU can do. Wait for the late game kasi yung mga nakas nyo nga in the best of 3 series, especially nung game 3, it was a comeback victory na nanggaling dito sa team na to.
Yeah, and also yun yung naging adjustment na ginawa nila heading to game number 2. Na kaya nga tayo nakapush to game number 3 is either they had this way to capitalize on the stronger start of their draft na having the utility picks such as the Fredrin, such as the Baksha, even yung Matilda. Era yung Freya na sinasabi mo kanina, and they're respecting the fact na pwede ito mag-exist sa game na to, and following up with the Fanny. So there's assassins, there's also attack speed that they don't want to deal with. So kailangan din nila tingnan kung ano nga ba yung pwede nilang i-priority. With the ban of Louis, magiging open din ang Matilda, magiging open din ang Harith, which was also chosen yesterday on the previous days. So ano talaga?
It's either or. I mean, ang dami pang possible options dito. You could go for the Moskov. It's a very good counter towards the Roger. Kung sakali naman na hindi yun yung gusto mong gawin, may possible options pa rin naman with the Claude, the Carry, and also the Harith that you've mentioned a while ago. Posibleng yan ng maging first pick ng ilan sa mga heroes. And I actually have to also point out yung Nathan na pinili din itong sa Trinidad going up against their matchup beforehand. And I think yun din yung ilan sa mga heroes na pinipili nitong side ng Metro NEU. In fact, nakita nga yata ako ng Iksha mula dito sa kanilang kupunan. So that's something that we have to take note of. Pero Harith, tinanggal na. Moskov might be the possible choice here para kay Trinidad. Mabilis niyang pinick up yan. Now, if you're the side of Antipolo, you can go for a Matilda if you want to, and then build up on maybe a Barats or a Fredrin. Magandang combination yon para makapag-secure ka ng objectives and for you to also be able to rack up something else. But instead, Angela ang kanilang pipiliin. It's something that's quite accessible para kahit saan ka man mapunta, whether which lane you are, magkakaroon ka kagad ng team using the hard card. Or also, Kate Rizla, pick it up here by Metro NEU.
It's always about the prio pick on the Moskov na talagang pwede mag-exist in the draft. Kahapon kung sino yung nagpa-priority ng Moskov that has a better chance to just completely snowball throughout the start of their game, and aiding it up with the Faramis, so you have that sustain once it hits level 3 and level 4. So ang pwede nilang gawin dito is naging rotation din nila yung pressure din on the EXP. So probably with this kind of lineup na meron sila with the Faramis, maybe right now pwede silang kumuha din ng kanilang tank or even the roam dahil meron ng Angela or maybe even their jungler as of this point. So it's all about securing the choices to make things work sa draft na first 3 picks nila dito.
Yeah, I mean, Matilda's still open, but instead they're gonna go with a Grok to fixate on the setup potential na meron sila dito. And in addition, magandang early game hero din naman kasi yan para makakuha kagad ng vision and information yung kanila magiging jungler, which is still yet to be unknown. It's quite a possibility here para sa Metro NEU to pick up a jungler of their own given na wala pang pinili yung side ng Quezon Province. But instead, they're gonna pick up or they're gonna build on the gold lane instead kasi nga baka sakaaling maubusan sila later on in the matchup. They had the Claude on their side as of the moment para kahit papano magkaroon pa rin naman ng extra scenario dito ang kanilang kupunan. And I think dito natin makikita ang Fredrin and the Baratsban. Kung hindi man posibleng magkaubusan yung mga heroes dito, we might look at something else here.
Yeah, it's good to prioritize sila ng kanilang Grok, so they have the tank as well. And for this, they have more ways to force out the back line dahil nga merong Claude. It was also a great counter. Pwedeng gawing counter din against the Moskov. So you have the BMI, you also have the Blazing Duet. But one thing that you need to take note of with this type of lineup is kailangan mo din mag-scale throughout to get those damage and items in para hindi din magkulang sa mismong team fights. Dahil nga meron din silang Fire. It's a good ban also na tinanggalan nila yung Valentina dahil sobrang delikado nga din naman ibibigay mo din naman na merong Netherrealm sa kasabilang team na meron pang Angela. So I don't wanna deal with that kung ganun din yung mismong lineup mo, di ba, Hans?
Yeah, I mean, another that you also have to look at here, the Fredrin's still open. I'm curious to see kung yun nga ba yung posibleng piliin dito ng side ng Antipolo City or should I say Metro NEU dahil parehas wala pang jungler to. They could potentially go for that. Pero okay, I'm seeing another sort of flex here galing sa side ng Metro NEU because the Edith is now available, which means na mapupunta yan into the roam position and yung Angela ilalagay nila sa mid lane. There's a possibility for them to either pick up the Fredrin or the Julian, but we saw na Peñas' skill in terms of using the assassins kung kaya naman posible na piliin niya rin itong Julian that they will absolutely lock in right now together with that X-Borg that Funteliar has been using throughout the time. He's used the Arlot for once, pero ngayon X-Borg siya to showcase that he has to sustain and the damage to take it on.
Well, speaking of damage, pwede nga ding i-counter din nila dito throughout their team fights. Dahil nga merong pressure ng Angela, so you have that Julian to also make things work with the combo and also magic damage. So kailangan din makakuha din ng magic items din yung Julian na to para makakuha din ng magandang team fighting damage capability to pair up with the export as well as the Moskov. Dahil nga may sustain, may knock up, and again, dito nga lang namin nakita yun, even on the last phase or the last chance, we see a Baksha or the Fredrin pick. And also, maybe there's a way na parang they want to just secure that kind of capability in terms of crowd control, team fight. So what makes this interesting, Hans? Why the Roger?
I mean, at this point, bumabangko sila dun sa punto na meron naman silang Angela. So kung sakali na magkaroon ng early game skirmishes, especially with Roger na umabot ng level 4. Actually, Roger is one of those heroes na hindi na kailangan umabot ng level 4 para magkaroon kagad ng immediate impact. So this is a situation na pwedeng i-exploit ng kupunan ng Metro NEU kung sakali. Kasi ang magiging problema nila dito is gonna be Parafina with that Grok na magbibigay nga ng vision and information towards them, and kung sakali mag-a-apply din ng pressure na magiging crucial upon taking objectives ng madalian para doon sa Roger. So they're really gonna have to take note of that, because if that is not the case, then posible na maunahan kaagad sila sa early game pa lang.
So yun pa lang yung pinaka-way to start up your momentum. In this best of 3, you need to get that early game, you need to get that chance na sabi nga dito ni Hans, this is the most possible way to snowball quickly with the Roger or up against this Julian. So magkakatalo na lang kung sino mag-delay. So looking at the tanks na pwede mag-aid ng vision and delay, this is either the Angela or the Grok. Pero in terms of hitting level 1 and 2, Grok is more valuable in terms of again, the armor and also the counter na pwede mong ibigay against this Angela as of this point. So as we're looking and discussing about that thought, ito nga yung kanilang pressure na gusto ibigay. Since two independent junglers na pwede mag-snowball in their own way, mas magkakaroon sila ng, again, aid on what lane should actually be pressured, either the EXP or the gold lane.
You're gonna have to take note also na medyo squishy yung kanilang junglers compared to what we've usually seen Fredrin and the Barats, pero sa Linda and Trinidad dito nagbibigayan talaga. I mean, last man standing at this point, they're still gonna be alive.
Heart of TV,
sa Linda's gonna use that extra regeneration factor para mabuhay pa siya ng paunti-unti. But again, you'd love to see the guts from these players early on. Papalag na naman
Two
going with that
marksmans.
one. Just making sure that they have the mechanics in check. Wala pa magkakamatayan dito, pero si Roma joining the party now. Immunity magagaling sa kanya. And it is looking for not, kasi medyo na-jabate siya ng konti sa pagkakataon na yun. First blood will be going to NEU Esports as it will be taken by Trinidad.
Commending the response of Parafina and as well as the Faramis. A good buy time din na ginawa din ni Trinidad because naramdaman din ito at some point na gusto talaga makipag 1v1 ng Cloud early on in that gold lane. So dun pa lang, they had the way to seize the moment and take advantage of the first objective. So dito pa lang, slowly, this is a good sign for the Moscow na pwedeng ituloy-tuloy.
Yun yung tinatawag natin na you have to make pigil na gigil. Alam mo ano na kakapiranggot na lang yung buhay, nakikita mo na. Pero with all of the time being bought here by both of these gold laners, you would expect na magkakaroon talaga ng dalaw later on, and that's exactly what happened. A gank that happened for Roma. Good purify skill na nanggaling kay Trinidad in that first fight. Pero ngayon, it's gonna be another one of those starts as Napeñas na naman ang mapupuruhan dito at mukhang siya ang mawawala with that passive coming in from Cartagena. And this is gonna be a jungler minus or subtracted from the composition na nanggagaling dito sa Quezon Province. It is now gonna be a counter attack galing kay Jonella and the rest of the members of Metro NEU as they will be able to secure this turtle.
No contest for the objective. Partner, kumrek na nga sa taas. Sinusubukan ako ng Trinidad dito, pero with the CC immune na meron ng Grak, mukhang na pushback sa Torre. Follow pa na kay Roma.
Under naman si Trinidad, medyo naghingalo pa kaya kailangan niya tumakbo. And this is Parafina trying to protect the rest of the members. Pero si Trinidad, lumalaban pa rin. He's gonna stay alive with the extra dash para makatakas. Sa Linda's gonna be healed here by Nashore. Sarne, nasa may bandang likuran. Gusto niya sana pumalag ng paunti-unti, but everybody else from Mantipola safely went back to shore. It's still a 1-for-1 in terms of kills at mukhang malapitan ang ating laban.
It's all about protecting this Moscow. Muntik na lang, gahibla na lang sana yung buhay na yun, but he managed to still use that dash in the most effective way dahil nga pwede siya maabot doon ng Eve or even the PMI na isang Claude. So yung lahat ng member ng Noypi Esports is protect the winning condition na binibuild up nila with the Moscow. Meanwhile, on the EXP lane, we're seeing the two players again battling out on how to clear the waves. But going back on the pros and the gold lane, ito talaga yung gusto nila bigyan ng pressure eh. Most of the time, this is the pattern. That's the knock-up from Roma. May Spear of Destruction tumama din for Roma for the second time. May follow-up ka ulit.
Andun yung wild charge and tatama na naman yung onward, pero si Roma magagamitan dito ng Heart Guard and also the Nether Realm onto the four members of the side of Quezon Province. Parafinas gonna be using the Ticker para makatakas lang, pero papalag na naman sila. It's gonna be another one of those blazing duets na nanggaling dito kay Salinda. Babagsak ang tatlo sa mga members dito ng Quezon Province, and Sarne is gonna be next, a maniac para dito kay Jonella. That is a very good jungler scenario, and now they're gonna get some energy shields.
Wala pang 5 minutes, maniac na kaagad, and that's how they mainly secure the advantage of this lineup early game dahil nga dito the other team went with the assassin choice with the sustain. Pero nga lang kung patagalan sila at pakunatan lang naman ng usapan, Roma landing the proper setup and as well as for Jonella for the follow-up. Kunat din mula doon sa Angela. This is a complete team fight na hindi nila uurungan basta-basta.
Doon sila medyo nagbintis eh. Yung wild charge really didn't hit as of the moment. And yun yung main na kanilang startup initiator. And si Sarne naman na ilatag niya yung kanyang Nether Realm towards all of the other four members. The only problem is, ang dami pang skills galing sa kabila. Hindi pa nagagamit yung Blazing Duet, at sa Linda just peeling their HP bars away para bumalik doon sa kanilang tunay na HP bar. And then from there, it was going to be up to Jonella to just wreak havoc and make sure na sila ang makakalamang. It's a 3K gold lead that we are witnessing right now at susubok sana sila to take the turtle unless Quezon wants it.
Tinan mo kung paano binabantayan ni Cartagena yung position na to. Yung Elbush na nakita natin sa taas and how he still manages to hold that vision dahil nga mayroong flicker and penalty zone combo. So dun pa lang, he's trying to guard out on the possible zone out dahil nga mayroong Grok na yung kalaban. kailangan din niya bantayan. So possibly, binabantayan yung posibleng paraan na hindi siya pwede mag-gank dito. Pero look at that hold.
Trinidad is gonna go down. An uncontested turtle at that as well. Kaya naman ibig sabihin, mas lalawig pa yung kalamangan na hawak dito ng Metro NEU. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening sa Linda and Sherman, dun nagtatrabaho dito sa may bandang ibaba, they want to go at it as well. Pero si Parafina and Sarnes safely getting them back in. Roma gonna help them using that Earth Shatter as well. Pero doon naman yung extra input at nandun na rin yung penalty zone. Kaya naman mapapagamit ng NetherRealm mga iba sa mga members. Pero Trinidad mapapatakas. Pero si Sarne hindi na makakawala pa. It's gonna be that Faramis going down. A 1-for-none trade. At basag na rin yung Torres may bandang ibaba.
At almost 5k gold lead. Ramdam din nila ang damage. And as we see, Sarne using that NetherRealm for defensive. Well, hold that thought. Mukhang may follow-up at sa Spear Destruction.
Medyo may ipit si Roma dito kaya mapapagamit ang Heart Guard doon sa Edith. And that is actually gonna be okay dahil makakatakas pa siya doon. Ever since 6 minutes in, hindi pa talaga nagkakaroon ng extra kill aside from that turtle fight. Itong kupunan ng side ng Noypi Esports. Metro NEU controlling the pace, controlling the tempo of this game.
Well, speaking of controlling, another purple has been taken away. Knock-up, may follow-up din doon. Look at how they wanted to control the invade. Wala pang Torre na kukuha yung side ng Noypi Esports. At daan-daan sila maghanap ng paraan para makuha ng damage for this Julian 0-2-0 and as well as for the Moscow. So by now, oras ang iniisip ng team na to para makuha ng items. Meanwhile, Puntilar mukhang may ipit dito, Hans.
Puntilar, mababasag yung kanyang Faraga armor. Si Roma medyo nangangalahati yung buhay pero sabi niya, sige, palag na lang tayo. It's gonna be another one of those NetherRealm na gagamitin na rin. Pero si Jonella, andun sa may badalikuran, Blazing Duet na naman ang kasunod. It's gonna be another one of those. At dalawa ang babagsak mula sa side ng Noypi. At mukhang ito na yata ang gusto nilang gawin to try and break down that inhibitor. Pero si Roma na naman na mapupunteriya nung turret and that is gonna be an enemy slain. Finally, a second kill para sa kupunan ng Noypi Esports, but you can't deny the fact
they have a free objective once again for this time. Third turtle ulit, APC Junella securing that objective for his team. Ngayon, the defense natin nga. Fleeting time na rin present for Nakor for this Angela. Paulit-ulit na rin gagamitin ng Heart Guard. So looking at by the items, 2 Dominance Ices for this to counter the attacks of the Moscow as well as for the healing of the Faramis. Looks like maaga nakakuha ng counter items and kaagad yung team na to be on the specific team fights na pwede nilang i-push against this team.
Yup, also the Flask of the Oasis and Fleeting Time secured by the Angela para mas mababa yung cooldown ng kanyang ultimate at this point. So, you really have to take note of that. Healing factor coming in with the extra Heart Guards na nagmumula doon sa Angela is starting to be a problem. Is already a problem in the first place para sa kupunan ng Noypi Esports and they're backed into a corner right now. Pero it's not that back so far kasi meron pa silang inhibitors. They still have a couple of outer turrets that we have to take note of. Pero unti-unti na, isa-isa nang bumabagsak yan. They only have just one turret aside from that. Pero may gagawing depensa dito ang kupunan ng Quezon Province. They're still holding on but with an 8.6k gold lead, what can they do?
Right now, pwede rin talaga gawin ni Parafina or the Grak makakuha ng magandang flicker wild charge dahil nga naka-cooldown but that's in few seconds, babalik na rin either they force something out because most of the time, ang force out the resources dito ay ang kupunan ng Noypi Esports. So kailangan nila mag-abang ng anong klase pagkakataon to take down the backline. Kaso sino nga ba pwedeng kunin dito? Either they force out the hard guard sa Angela or even kay Roger. Kasi kung gagamitin mo naman yung kay Edith or even kay Teresa, sobrang kunat din naman yun. So you need to make sure the damage na pwede mong ibuga right away if you decide to commit to a team fight. So either right now, just to answer your question, wait more time to get those damage and magic items in and also find a best way to have that flicker combo para sa crack na to para makuha na isang magandang pick up sa likod.
Ang tanging nagiging problema lang actually dito para sa kanilang kunan. Pero wait lang, penalty zone ay gagamitin na naman. But going back to my point is that ang madalas na nakikita nila ay walang iba kundi si Roma. Si Roma ang pinakamakunat na member ng Antipolo City as of this moment and the rest of the members of Quezon Province are forced to use most of their skills dahil hindi nila maubos yung HP bar nitong si Roma. That's gonna be an uncontested Lord na pupunta sa kupunan ng Metro NEU and they are now immediately spawning in terms of minions. Timing is gonna be of the essence. Halos pa full build na rin itong si Salinda with a 205 KDA on that Claude. They're really gonna have to take note of this. Maybe a defense is necessary and of utmost importance.
And the gold lead is now almost 11,000 for Team Metro NEU. So dito natin nakikita on how they wanted to seal this game right away. 10 minutes pa lang, we're seeing a Lord push na pwede pa rin matunaw din naman ng Noypi Esports. Pero ang kailangan na talaga ngayon, they need to get the kill for this Moscow and as well as for this Julian. Dahil madami na silang crowd control. So they need to make sure to where to hold that Nether Realm na para hindi ma-force ang napaka-valuable na resource. Katulad ito, kumakatok pa rin sa base, Hans.
I mean, to be fair, hindi pa naman ito yung buwabangga, pero under namang bumangga si Roma sa may badalikuran. Blazing Duets gonna be utilized as well. Pero yung Nether Realm ay bibitaw pa, pero under naman yung iba sa mga members ng side ng Antipolo City. There are trying to wreak havoc as well. Babagsak na naman ito. Walang iba kundi si Sarne. Then dumidepensa pa rin ng iba. Andun si Trinidad, nag-free hit lang para si Generela. Taking so much damage. La Peñas goes down. At si Trinidad andun pa rin sa may badalikuran. He's just using the passive para kahit pa paano nakadepensa pa rin. Pero si Salinda, sabi niya, sige, baba tayo. They want to go for the extra inhibitor. Kalbo ngayon ang base ng iba sa mga members. But that is actually going to be a last insanity na mailalatag towards Roma. Pangatlong kill na yan ni Roma, and Roma's the only player, the only hero na nawawala sa kupunan ng Antipolo City so far.
All of that for one casualty. At again, may minions na nagpupush na rin for the side of Metro NEU. Now they're left for the defense. Ito ba yung pagkakataon na pwede sila makakuha ng extra time for the items to even show for the Moscow, because we have the golden staff, we have the corrosion sight as well. So medyo kulang pa rin ang pwede natin ma-activate for the core items for this hero alone, and also for the sa Julian na forced din siya mag blood wings first instead of getting either the feather of heaven or the genius wand. So dito pa lang we are actually seeing na medyo naging defensive din yung labas ng Julian because of the early kill na nagawa sa kanya from the first 3 minutes of the game. So more on the defensive side. So the only one they can rally for damage is kay Trinidad or kay Moskov.
Yup, Trinidad is the main man para sa kupunan ng Noypi Esports if they want to get back in this game. Pero yun nga yung isa pang puntos eh. Kailangan nila mapigilan. Una yung Blazing Duet. They need to have enough damage para mapatumba si Roma na isang bagsakan lamang. Kasi kung hindi nila magagawa yan, nakapag-build up na yung offensive powers nitong side ng Metro NEU dahil meron sila ng Roger and they also have the Claude. And it's gonna be depending really on the damage output na kayang ibigay nitong si Trinidad. And also even Sarni, even Peñas at this point, dahil medyo nahihirapan nga siya to dish out the damage on his own kasi lalapit pa lang siya dun sa ibang mga members dito ng Metro NEU, and they're really starting to have problems already because of the squishiness the Julian possesses. It's an uncontested Lord na pupunta na naman sa Metro NEU, and they now lead by 12,000 gold.
No turrets taken as well. Minions pushing in all lanes na pwede ding gamiting advantage ngayon ng Metro NEU. 11-3, 13 minutes in. Sino nga bang pwede ma-pick off dito? Another invade, another Grand Theft Orange ang makukuha sa jungle camp ng Noypi Esports. So dun pa lang, nahihirapan sila lumabas sa mismo nilang base. And now they're looking for a way to utilize the crystal na pwedeng gamitin for a defense. At ano, can they hold the damage na nasimula na ng Metro NEU?
Sabay-sabay ang minion waves dito. Una galing sa sentro, papunta na naman dito sa gitna. The rest of the members in, pero doon si Cartagena, gagamit na naman ang kanyang penalty zone. Meanwhile, nakalak na iba sa mga members in, and that might just be it. Is going to be Metro NEU Esports securing game number 1.
Stepping up their own momentum in this best-of-3 series, a full dominant game. So nakita natin how the Fredrin was still effective even in the last moments. This is just still the beginning, and that they want to do 4 straight fast games in that situation, Hans.
Yeah, malinis. They got their scaling pretty early. And in addition, nakuha nila yung importanteng moment, which was the maniac nitong si Roger,
Early
nitong
maniac.
si Gionela. Kaya naman pagkatapos nun, yung dapat sana naaabot pa ng late game, sobrang napaaga ng agaran. Kasi aside from the fact na nakasecure siya kaagad ng War Axe, he was also able to secure the assistance from the Heart Guard ng Angela.
Yeah.
So dun pa lang, mahihirapan ka ng patumbahin siya, and mahihirapan ka na din sa damage output na kaya niyang ibigay.
Yeah, and also we're looking for the chance that Julian could also be the answer for the magic damage because most of them were pushed defensively. But in the best of 3 situation, madaming pwede pang maging adjustment sa team na to. Or we're looking forward on how the draft will be a great way of change heading to the next game. So magkakaalaman tayo in a few seconds or few minutes from now. I'm OSX and this is Hans. Magbabalik kami ulit for game number 2.
Subaybayan ang sagupaan ng pinakamagagaling na mga koponan mula sa Southern Luzon for the on-site qualifier semifinals. Tuloy ang bakbakan ngayong Sabado, alas 8 ng gabi, dito lang sa Unity League Mobile Legends Bang Bang National Tournament. Mapapanood sa PTV, IBC at Congress TV Channel.
Nagbabalik po kami for game number 2. It's match point na rin for Metro NEU. So malalaman natin kung ano nga ba pagbabawi ng Noypi Esports heading into the draft this time around.
I mean, one of the things that we have to take note of is yung, I think, yung form of execution. Kasi right from the start, kung iisipin natin, medyo lugi yung kupunan ng Metro NEU Esports upon being aggressive and with the pokes kasi they had two marksmen on their side. They had Roger and they also had the Claude. However, yung early game scaling kasi yung maniac na nangyari right from the beginning when Jonella made it into the top lane tapos naglatag siya ng damage output doon. Parang yun na yung nagselyo ng victory. I know it's super early, pero to think na magkakaroon ka kagad ng scaling as a Roger tapos ma-assist ka pa ng Angela to just continue to dish out the damage whenever you want to at hindi ka mauubusan ng HP is a problem in the first place.
Sobrang naging malaki din yung sustain given the fact na merong Fred as well as the Angela na nagbigay din ng kakayahan also to dive in mostly sa backline kahit na meron silang Grok, kahit meron din silang way to even hold it with the Julian. Madaming na force out, na push to a defensive side yung Noypi Esports that we were looking for a way to see kung ano nga ba yung pwedeng aggressive items or damage items na mapasok nila to counter it out heading to mid to late stages of the game. So as a respected or may respect na mangyayari, banning out the Angela this time around, I think this is a great way to actually seal the possibility na hindi sila pwedeng lumalim sa mga team fights heading on.
Hindi talaga nila binibigay yung Freya. Whatever happens, Fanny might be the next tier and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Meanwhile, dito sa kabila, it's either they give up the Harith or they just deny the Moskov instead. That's gonna be the scenario here. Harith is still a possibility para iban ng side ng Metro NEU. Pero, you don't usually see that. But the Popol and Koopa is gonna be a ban here para sa kanila. So it is now gonna be a Harith that's opened para sa kupunan ng Noypi Esports. Pero mas marami namang roamers ang available on the other side. Kaya ang pick up nila ay walang iba kundi ang dalawang pinakamalupit, or should I say two of the best setters in the current meta that we have right now. It's the Minoan's Fury na nanggagaling sa Minotaur and the Final Slash na nagmumula dun sa Arlot. How would they counter it? Quezon Province answers with a Paramis. Sarne has been using it for a lot of times now in the South Luzon leg. And yung mga latag niya ng Netherrealm kanina has been very well executed, pero due to the lack of damage that they've had, it really became a problem for them, especially during team fights.
At ilang beses talaga na force out ang Netherrealm na talagang mostly naging defensive yung naging sagot nila instead of being aggressive, considering that there was a Grok, there was a Julian. Kaso nga lang sa early game na ginawa, as you've mentioned about the potential of the Roger in the early game snowball, naging mas beneficial. And we're about to see it now once again. At sobrang maganda din yung pag-add ito with the Arlot and the Minotaur since di pa kanila lalagay dito yung Retribution spell for this hero. So it still could be a flex either for the gold or the jungle ang pwede puntahan ng hero na to.
Okay, so Roger has been picked up again this time by Metro NEU, pero ito na yung slight difference on that one kasi hindi pa rin tayo sigurado kung yung Roger na yan ay mapupunta ba ulit kay Jonella or will it be sa Linda in the gold lane using that specific hero. On the other hand naman, dininay na ni Funtilar yung Terizla kontra dito sa kabila, which is Cartagena na gumamit din ng Terizla noong game number 1. So there are some slight modifications. I like the draft significantly better here para sa kupunan ng Quezon Province for like their first 3 picks. Pero team fight wise, it really is a very well composed lineup na nagbumula sa Antipolo. Bans with the Carmela and the Valentina as well. Matic yan dahil may Faramis doon sa kabila. However, you could also take note of the Vexana as well na posibleng iban ng kupunan ng Noypi Esports Esports from Quezon Province just to stop a possible surge here, yung paglabas ng EG Boy, no Eternal Guard, for them to just continue to unleash ham on the rest of the members of Antipolo.
Speaking of unleash, good din tinanggalin nila yung threat din ng IMU with this Valentina dahil nga merong Arlot, meron ding Minotaur. So you don't want to have that AoE setup na galing sa Minuan Fury na pwedeng may follow-up ka na merong Lycan Pounce na pwedeng sumunod sa'yo from the back. So at this point, it's a good thing to ban out na rin the Matilda as well dahil wala pa nga din ditong possible frontliner, initiator, or even roam for this side of the draft. So doon pa lang, they're forcing out this Faramist either to be in roam or yung Terizla na nakita natin in the few episodes of Unity League Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, most likely na pupunta talaga sa mid lane itong Faramis, given that there's just a lot of crowd control skills at pagiging helpful talaga yung Netherrealm towards this one. A Florin could be a possibility here para sa kupunan ng Quezon Province if they wanted to. Meanwhile, yung ginagawa din naman nila in terms of bans is they're trying to limit a scenario here para kahit papano ma-force yung Roger into the jungle position na talaga. Pero Lilia ang pipiliin dito ng kupunan ng Metro NEU. I mean, at this point, it's also a very good counter towards the Faramis dahil bago, it's a good peel towards the Netherrealm. Like, hindi mo kailangan mag-launch ng isang hard crowd control skill at hindi mo kailangan i-force out itong Roger to be able to dish out the damage. But a Ling is gonna be right here for them to just be able to try and do the split pushes gaya ng ginagawa nila noong quarterfinals. And an Edith, another hero that was used here by Metro NEU, is something na posible lang gamitin. Actually, sila pala yung gumamit yan kanina lang and they would want to replicate the same thing possibly for game number 2.
Yeah, you have the Edith and also the Ling, but this time around, magiging dependent din sila again for the purple buff. So with the Grok, so kailangan din nilang mas maging maingat on how to use the Grok again dahil they have the Faramis, so either for the Harith or even for the Ling, in a way, kailangan mag-snowball para kung makakuha ng damage. For on the last parts of this draft, Baksha still has the way to answer the jungler against Ling. So meron kang you have the slow, you have a way to hold out with taunt and crowd control. Tapos mas pupunta sa gold lane ngayon yung Roger, which could still be a great way to start initiation, especially team fights early game.
Yeah, I mean, matchup-wise, Roger versus the Harith. Harith would take the lead kapag naka-human form yung Roger. Pero, I mean, pag naka-wolf form yung Roger, kasi at some point in time, kailangan targeted talaga yung basic attack mo kasi kailangan mo lumapit. And Harith, whenever he has those chrono dashes, really is gonna be of help to him. Pero kapag naka-human form siya, then they might tie things up in terms of getting the minion waves na posible nating makita later on. Another thing that you have to take note of is itong sina Peñas. With Dionela being very tanky, and there's also Roma. Titignan natin kung paano ba siya kukuha ng purple buff consistently at kung paano makakatulong si Parafina and si Sarne para makuha niya yung purple buffs niya to be able to roam around the lanes as freely as possible.
Yep. Pero ngayon, I'm favoring the draft of APC having a great amount of crowd control and game-changing plays na pwede gawin isang Arlot. So dito pa lang, we need to seek on how will they deplete the resource out of this lane or kung paano nila maka-counter din yung Grok. So in early game or once it hits level 4, mas magiging effective in terms of the toolkits na pwede lang gawin to even poke out. But looking at the matchup that you said earlier, Roger versus the Harith, at this point, mas force din mismo yung Grok to even be on this lane para hindi malamangan din yung Harith getting those magic items in.
Yep, but so far, lumalatag yung mga damage skills. Yung damage skills, nalatag dito ni Trinidad and extrang damage output na lang nanggaling dito kay Parafina with that Power of Nature. Meanwhile, on the XP lane, it's also the same thing that we have been seeing so far, just making sure na magkakaroon ng damage output. Pero mukhang nabanggaan na naman itong si Pondelar. He has to head back, but will he have enough time? Pero babalik na naman ito sa Peñas with the superhero landing as well. Hindi pa siya umaabot ng level 4. Papipilitan nila silang pumurga. Pero doon naman, Cartagena goes down and Junala's gonna be forced to go back out as soon as possible. First blood, mapupunta sa Quezon.
Yeah, they kind of risk the fact na pwede silang mag-initiate doon ng team fight, but considering that Arlot was still on level 2, kulang pa din sa crowd control or even the final slash against the possible situation na pina-force ng Ling lineup na to, the assassin lineup. But hindi ata mapipigilan yung pag-uwi. Wala pa siyang reset or the black shoe. So makakuha ng secure kill na Peñas 1-0-1.
The significance or the benefit of having na Peñas a Ling on your side means na kapag nakakuha ka talaga ng purple buff
Masaya ka.
madali lang. It's just basically a skyway tactic para sa iyo sa Linda. Siya pa ang nangyari sa pagkakataon na yun. A taste of your own medicine from game number 1 ang nakita natin doon mula sa kanya, and it is now looking like the lead para sa kupunan ng Quezon Province. I'm talking about Noypi Esports, pero mabilis ang sagot naman ng kupunan ng Metro NEU as they were able to safely secure that first turtle of the game. But just like I said, dahil wala nga retribution take, posibleng papalag ito sa Peñas kontra kay Salinda. Will Salinda be able to do that? Pero hindi niya na magagawa yan. Lipad kaagad palayo ito sa Peñas while successfully sieging the orange buff.
Yep, Cloudwalker palayo muna dahil that was a very risky dive from Salinda, considering that was the third still up for Harris. So great way having an advantage for that gold plate and protection. So medyong damage reduction din na nagamit in the first 5 minutes. So medyo nagiging risky. They're trying to have a play na medyo they're out of position to even respond. So maybe in that kind of situation, kailangan nila maingat in terms of getting that kind of plays instead of just diving out na medyo hindi calculated yung labas.
At bukod pa doon medyo they are also taking risks now. Itong kupunan ng Quezon Province, and they like their chances kasi with the Ling being nowhere to be found, being from one buff to another, being from one jungle objective to another. Nakikita na kaagad natin yan, pero ito naman sila sure na naman ang pupuruhan. Pero andun yung Black Shoes, pero Wild Charge is gonna be utilized as well. Time of day sa ibababa na at kakasanin na Peñas. Makakatakas pa siya sa pagkakataon na yan, pero hinahabol siya nitong si Jonella. But Cloud Walker, just to be able to get away from that situation, hinahabol siya kayo ni Jonella. Pero para Fina providing the information needed, kaya naman hindi na siya papalagpa. Instead, they will go into the top lane. Trinidad na naman ang mapupuruhan dito. Lalatag na naman yung passive or the battle spell or the battle emblem rather. Pero yung Trinidad ay makakatakas pa rin para Fina safely securing the gold laner and the jungler back in the shore.
Muntik na mapitas dun sa Salinda. Using the flicker to escape, and the response from Roma and as well as for Cartagena, nakadagdag din ng konting depensa kaagad dahil kung nakuha pa doon second time around yung Roger, dahan-dahan na makakuha ng magic items yung hard to look at the Absorber and the magic shoes. Cooldown reduction is up. Now mas mapapadalas din yung paglapag ng Synchrofish and Salmon 4. So in a great way, they're trying to have that trade na wag munang masyadong ibigay ang posibleng kills na makuha ng Harit ito. So again, objective is present. Sino kayo makakuha nito?
5-on-4 situation, lamang sa numbers ang side ng Quezon Province. Roma medyo napupuruhan at makakuha na naman ng turtle. Walang iba kundi yung Noypi Esports. Jonella got it, pero doon na naman yung final slash. Beautiful takedown. 3-4 ang bagsak mula sa kanila, and it took all but Cartagena's final slash to be able to turn things around. It's a wipeout para sa kupunan ng Antipolo Rizal.
For commending Cartagena once again with that 4 final slash, game-changing moment na talaga nakabuhos lahat ng layer of damage and skills yung team ng APC. Considering lahat na nag-invade sa position, it's a great way to seize potential. Kung pwede lang makita natin that replay, a great timing for this team to seize dahil nga it was the gold lane pressure na ginagawa nila kay Salinda. Now slowly turning the tides on their favor, dahan-dahan din sila magpupush.
To think that it was the strength or the advantage in numbers para dito sa kupunan ng Quezon Province, because medyo nahuhuli pa itong si Cartagena, pero as soon as dumating siya doon, he found the right angle at nailatag niya yung final slash as soon as possible. This time around, they wanna contest for this purple objective onto the side or onto the blue side dahil si Sarne na naman ang papalag, pero onto na naman si Jonella at siya mapupuruhan dito, and he will be going down but not just yet. Actually, ando na pala, pero Trinidad naman ang trade galing sa kanila, pero Tizon na ilalatag na rin. Bagsak itong si Trinidad. Cartagena might go down as well, pero si Puntillar na sa may padalikuran, papalag na sila doon sa nag-iisang member dahil si Sarne ay hindi na makalapit pa. Roma's also gonna go down. It is a 3-for-2 take in favor of the side of Antipolo because they were able to take 3 heroes better than 1.
At sinubukan nga mag-trade din na Peñas, stealing that orange away. Just looking at the way to have this trading. Pero kung kukunin natin at titingnan natin yung points na napupunta sa marksman, which is Salinda, a great way to have that point of entry na hindi muna siya nauna, na medyo naipit din doon si Trinidad. Yung nilapag niya yung Salmon Force. On those tight corners, yun na kailangan mong iwasan kung if you're up against a Minotaur or even in Arlot, dahil pwede ka talagang maipit sa mga ganong klase sitwasyon, and considering the fact that you or your team could use the force to activate that Nether Realm, medyo magiging mahinang depensa early on as the game scales.
Alright, so Antipolo was able to secure a turtle pero may ginawa rin namang trade ang Quezon Province up top by taking and securing an outer turret. So that's still a tight ball game. We are only divided by an 800 gold lead separating these two teams at magkakatalo talaga in like one major team fight. A final slash canceled there nitong si Sarne at nitong si Trinidad. Parafina giving out the vision just like usual para pagdating dito nitong si Peñas hindi siya magkakaroon ng problema, pero alam to ng kupunan ng Antipolo, gusto nilang puruhan yung purple objective para hindi na makalipad pa si Peñas onto this one, pero kakasaba si Junella and the rest of the crew, pero magagamit niya yung retribution, doon naman yung pinch points and the rest of the Tempest of Blades para makatakas siya. It is safe, no casualties whatsoever for both of the teams.
Yep, slowly looking for a way to counter out trades. Right now, the lead slowly building at 1.5k for APC. So, hindi pa naman ganun kalayo yung kalamangan. But in terms of the defense and macro-wise, mas makakapag-push sila ngayon safely against the lineup of an assassin, even in a Faramis. So dito pala kailangan nilang maingat. Kahit na meron silang coverage on the map, they need to be sure na hindi sila ma-pick off dahil hindi pa rin naman wala or naipon or nawala sa damage yung lineup na to as of this point. So meron pa silang pagkakataon para makabawi. They still have a Grok, they still have a Faramis, so a better setup and as well as a pick-up from the back line could be a beneficial way to take it to their favor.
All outer turrets are finally gone para sa side ng Quezon Province. Cartagena lalatag na naman ng tatlo at mukhang gagamit na naman ng Nether mga iba sa mga mercs ng Quezon Province, pero go time na yata ito dahil may Minoan's Fury doon sa tatlo. Funtillar trying to zone out everybody else, pero mukhang overwhelming ang damage output. Joining the party si Rabina Peñas, gagamit ng retribution as well. Ando siya sa may backside, lalatag siya ng damage output and it's gonna be Roma going down. Tatakas si Peñas using that Cloud Walker and Salinda taking a breath of the damage as well, pero si Trinidad will be safely getting back into their own tower. But even so, it's a 2-for-1 take. It was only Funtillar that went down on that fight para sa kupunan ng Quezon.
Yeah, and that, hindi pa naman nawala ng wave clear ang lineup ng Noypi Esports. Still wanna manage it macro-wise once again. Yung minions and as well as the objective. Mukhang gusto lumalim din dito. Tempest of Blades ginamit ng atin para makaiwas. Salinda and Jonella as well. Wow. Forced out an ultimate right away. So hindi pa naman nagamit yung dalawang retribution. So still safe for both junglers. Sino kaya makakuha ng objective na to?
Still, it's an ultimate na nagamit nitong si Peñas. So the best way for him to be able to escape the situation is to just do a drive-through. Latag lang siya ng retribution na pinakamalapit doon sa pit, doon sa base, pero doon naman yung final slash kay Parafina lang tatama. Na Peñas is just waiting around the corner while everybody else is fighting for it. Reset ng paulit-ulit yung Lord. And no casualties whatsoever. Good buy time na nanggagaling sa Quezon Province to try and take territory away from the rest of the members of Antipolo. Pero doon naman yung wild charge, attack na sila. And it's going to be the Nether Realm. Babagsak. Walang iba kundi si Salinda as of that moment. At dalawa mula sa side ng Antipolo ang matitira. At isa na lang pala kasi si Jonella mawawala na rin sa kamay nitong si Sarne. And that is going to be a wipeout para sa kupunan ng Quezon Province. Pinapatrabaho na lang nila kay Peñas yung Lord dahil gusto nilang bumasag ng mga tore sa gitna.
5-0, commending Parafina, the target of the wild charge, mainly focusing on that Roger alone. Unang or pangalawang beses na tumumba yung Roger at nawalan ng damage dealer yung side ng APC. Doon pa lang, yun na yung goal signal nila to continue that team fight. That despite Cartagena landing another perfect final slash, kaso nagkulang din sa damage. At that point, nakakita ng paraan, and you mentioned it earlier, na kahit nagamit na yung Tempest of Blades before that objective taking, it was in the right time to have that extended team fight dahil nga sa ginawa din ni Sarne to extend it with the Nether Realm. Looking at the items, Berserker's Fury in this battle also, the Has Claws present na rin for this Ling. And looking at the defensive items, Magic also to consider the Harith, papunta na rin sa Holy Crystal. So we can't count out the damage just yet for this side of the team.
Alright, Peñas looking for the corner again. Penalty zone na naman ang gagamitin na iba sa mga members dito ng Quezon Province. Nagkakamitan na ng Nether Realm, but who will be able to stay alive? Dalawa, tatlo, apat ang babagsak sa Quezon Province. It is just Peñas who's alive in a counter-attack na nagmula na naman sa Antipolo City to be able to turn things around. Sarne is now alive. Roma is the only one down mula sa Metro NEU and they want to do something about it, but a good defense from Metro.
And almost a 5-0 wipeout once again. A trade for Roma. Pero gladly, masaya sila sa naging 4 na takedown na yon despite of being wiped out doon sa objective taking. So dahan-dahan nagkakaroon ng race sa dalawang kupan na to. Despite the mistakes happening, nagkakaroon sila ng advantage on who to target, on who to have an eye on once they commit the mistake. So Malefic are present for Salinda as well, mainly to penetrate the damage. Meanwhile, mukhang kakabulat si Salinda dito, Hans.
Si Salinda ang naipit sa pagkakataon na yun. Gold laner is down para sa kupunan ng Antipolo, which means Mayday kailangan nating umalis pero hindi sila pinapakawalan ng kupunan ng Quezon. Cartagena might be up next here. It's Salinda, Gionella, and Cartagena going down. Triple kill para kay Trinidad. Roma and Ashore going back to base. Seesaw battle. Counter-attack. Suntok para sa suntok ang nangyayari sa laban na to.
Mukhang na-underestimate nila yung pag-spawn ng mga miyembro doon ng Noypi Esports and also Salinda being out of position na pwede siyang na-pick off siya kaagad. Na-force si Nakor and even si Roma na dumipensa na lang dahil kung hindi sila umuwi sa moment na yon, possibly that would be the end of the game from that point. So dito pa lang, they need to make sure of those mistakes na hindi nila paulit-ulit na i-commit.
Now this is the difference maker. Walang inhibitor turret sa gitna ang kupunan ng Metro NEU from Antipolo. Quezon Province, Noypi Esports looking for a way to bring this to game number 3 for them to reach the grand finals of the Unity League Philippines South Luzon leg, and who will be able to stop them at this point, or will they be stopped? That's gonna be the question kasi andun na naman yung Netherrealm and the Minoan Fury ay nalatak na rin pero nagkaubusan na ng HP bar. Mawawala, walang iba kundi itong Trinidad and Parafina as well. Jonella will be going down. Nagkakabagsakan na dito, bodies on the floor. It's gonna be a 2 on a 4 out. Triple kill para kay Salinda at ang natitira lang ay walang iba kundi sina Peñas. They have all of the minions on their side onto the middle, pero meron pa bang oras itong sina Peñas to be able to go back? Yes, he does. And that is a huge cannon minion onto the side. Nashore and Salinda being able to safely secure it. Pero si Peñas, sabi niya kahit mag-isa ako, sige, papalag na lang natin to. But Peñas, that might be a bad decision. Buti na lang ay meron siyang episode blades para makatakas sa pagkakataon na yon. And with that being said, no ultimate for the jungler, no retribution for the Ling. They will go for the Lord.
At doon pa lang natin nakita na yung mindset ni Peñas is mag-buy time sa kanyang team dahil wala pang minion push yung APC. So dahan-dahan nilang sinusubukan kumuha ng pagkakataon pero grabe,
Oh wait,
lumalalim si Parafina.
Oh my goodness, that's not Peñas with a drive-through again. Sabay eskapo ang iba sa mga members ng Quezon Province pero hinahabol nila walang iba kundi yung Ling ang nagpahirap sa pagkakataon na to. Na Peñas using the Cloud Walker. Will he have enough room?
Hinahabol nila.
You can run, but will you be able to hide and get back to base? Salinda running away at mukhang wala na talaga. It's gonna be another one of those sacrifices pero nakuha niya ang gusto niyang gawin, which is the Lord para sa Quezon.
A Lord and also diverting the attention of everybody right now of Metro NEU. At nakakuha din ng isang wave dun sa gitna. So at that point, panalo, ngiting-ngiti dun. Mismo si Peñas having that macro play up against the map of this team. Makakapag-push pa rin sila but this time hold in ng Metro NEU yung Lord na to. So ang tanong ko yun, mukhang may ipit sa final slash.
Yup, that's gonna be another one of those skills na ibibigay nila kay Puntin Lara at mawawala na naman siya as of this moment. It's a 3-on-5 situation. We're wondering why they are here for just a little bit more. Trinidad nandun sa may punta ilalim na gamit na rin yung Netherrealm. But will they be able to escape? The answer might just be no. Not just yet. Dahil papalag sila na tuloy-tuloy. Double kill. Make it an unstoppable para dito kay Salinda dahil yun naman yung counter-attack na kanila gusto at hinihintay kanina pa. 11-3-7. Will they be able to do something about this? Salinda trying to defend. Roma is there as well. Pero na Peña, sabi niya kalahati na lang yung buhay. Will I go? Will I not? And the answer is not. Hindi sila tutuloy and this is starting to be a bloodbath for these two teams.
Sobrang nagiging problema na rin ang mga minion waves na pumapasok from mid to bottom. Dahil kada team fight na nakikita natin dito, this is just the magic and the prowess of Aling na nakakapag-clear all throughout the lanes na kahit na nalugi siya early on na nagkaroon naman ng mga hiccups, this is just the late game situation that they can actually deal with. And looking at this, problema nga ang wave clear ngayon. Kahit na merong clear yan, makakagawa na sila ng paraan for this. But in terms of team fights, isang maling pagkakataon na magsumabak ulit sa team fight yung team na to, pwede silang magpapushan sa base. At dahan-dahan nilang sinusubukan i-invade yung purple pero it was safely defended right away by Roma. And of course, secures that purple out. So doon pa lang, kailangan nila maging maingat kung mag-commit ba sa team fight or ayusin nila yung wave clear nila.
Gusto ko lang sabihin para na daming kills ng laban na to. 16 minutes in pa lang.
21-23.
Ang tindi ng laban na to. As in, pag meron silang pagkakataon na mag-clash, they will clash whatsoever. Pero yung natitira kasi during their clashes is either a gold laner or a mid laner. Two heroes from both sides na kayang mag-wave clear. Kaya hindi pa talaga natatapos ng todo yung laban na to. Nagkakaroon ng chances itong kupunan ng Quezon Province. Kaya nga sila nakabasag ng inhibitor turret sa bandang gitna. Meanwhile, ang ginagawa rin ng Antipolo City is that they have the Lilia for the defense. So Nashor is really doing a good job in keeping himself alive in this one using a Lilia. Pero kung sakaling siya ang mawala, it's Salinda and Nashor for Antipolo City, and it's Napeñas at si Trinidad para sa kanila. Pero doon naman si Junela ang tumatangkay ng iba sa mga damage siya. Upward final slash siya gagamitin na rin. Pero doon yung Netherrealm, will they be able to do something about it? Si Napeñas hindi pa sumasali pero wala. Ito si Junela, pero bagsak din si Trinidad. It's a jungler for a gold laner para sa kanila. Para Fina goes down next. Puntillar, Salinda hinahabol na rin itong si Puntillar, and he will go down a triple kill. 4 for 1 trade para sa kupunan ng Quezon at tanging si Sarne na lamang ang natitira. Will he be able to do something about it? And the answer is no. It is a sweep, and the first finalist of South Luzon leg is none other than Metro NEU.
Ito sa back and forth. Pwede na maging roller coaster kahit yung gold lead even in the 16 to 17 minutes. Ang kalamangan lang ay 1,000. At that point, pwede pa rin talaga makabawat pero pinusuan pa rin. Pinusuan pa rin ng Noypi Esports at hindi sila pumayag na hindi kami lalaban kahit na naging sweep.
Ibang klase, and umabot sa punto na nabasagan ang Metro NEU ng inhibitor turret, but that didn't phase them. Instead, they continuously fought, and that's the benefit kapag yung inhibitor sa gitna lang yung basag. Pag sa top kasi or sa bot lane, that's a different scenario kasi mas malayo yung kailangan mong lakbayin.
At
pero
kailangan mong tapusin.
Yes, pero yung rotation kasi na hihintayin mo lang sa mid. Okay, it's something that we can control, and they were able to take control of the situation.
And congrats to Metro NEU to getting that sweep, and still GG well played for Noypi Esports. Once again, wow, yesterday umabot tayo ng 3 games pero ngayon mukhang lahat ng pagkakamali nila ay talagang naplansya heading into the series. So we're excited to see on the next episodes ngayon sa Unity League. Muli po, I'm OSX, I'm si Hans. Magbabalik ulit kami sa Bakbakan dito lang sa Unity League Philippines.